An accident? No. Choice. I pinch the thin gold bracelet between my fingers. It's hers, Sarah's. A simple thing, delicate chain links shimmering under the weak living room lamp. My breath feels cold. The metal bites into my palm as I twist, pressing it harder. She always treated it like a sentimental piece, a gift from an old aunt, or so she said. But I think of it now as a symbol of everything that's slipped away. Its links catch the light one last time before I snap them apart. The sound it makes is too small to describe what's going on in my chest. A tiny ping, a final break in silence. I set the broken pieces on the coffee table, where dust motes drift in the glow of a single table lamp. Outside, it's night, deep, impenetrable. My reflection on the glass door leading to the patio is just a silhouette, an outline of someone I barely recognize. I'm not trembling with rage. I'm calm, almost too calm. Like a surgeon, yes, cutting into flesh and bone, knowing exactly where each incision should go. Sometimes I think about the word accident. But this wasn't an accident. It was a choice. Hers, his, maybe even mine. Somewhere in the back of my mind, a long time ago. I find myself swallowing a bitter taste that crawls up my throat. And I wonder if the bitterness is older than the discovery of her diary, older than my suspicions about her late-night texts, older than every sign I chose to ignore. Sarah isn't home. She doesn't know I found it. Or maybe she does, and just doesn't care. Part of me isn't sure if she left the diary there on purpose, like a twisted invitation to see how far things had gone. My eyes flick to the couch, where a pillow sits at an odd angle. That's where I first searched for the TV remote. Instead of the remote, my hand found the slim, pastel-colored book, corners worn, pages smelling faintly of her perfume. When I opened it, I saw the date scribbled in black ink, yesterday. 10 out of 10. Not like with my husband. 3 lines down. More details. Little notes about how he touched her. How the heat of his body made her lose track of time. That her entire being sang under him in ways she hadn't felt in years. I read that sentence twice. My heart hammered, but not in anger. Something else, like a hollow echo, an unsteady drumbeat in my chest that told me I should have expected this. Then I read it again, savoring the cruelty of each word, letting them carve out pieces of my faith in her. I imagined them together, and for the first time, I didn't feel jealousy, but a cold clarity. Everything I thought was real in our marriage was real only from my side. A spark of memory. Just 2 nights ago, I was at the summer house, fixing the leaky faucet. My phone calls went unanswered. She'd said she was busy at work. I believed her. Meanwhile, she was busy with him, with her lover. No, it wasn't an accident. It was a choice, hers to stay behind, to find pleasure in another man's arms. I sink into the recliner, noticing how the cushions still carry her scent of vanilla lotion. Silence weighs down the house. I can picture her leaning against the arm of that couch, tapping away on her phone, maybe writing that little diary entry. Yesterday, while I was miles away, trying to keep our property from crumbling, she was rating her affair 10 out of 10. My mind flickers. I see Sarah as she used to be, shining, playful, telling me stories about her marketing clients. They're just small fish, she used to joke, but I'll reel in the big ones eventually. She was so vibrant. The woman who teased me when I'd get home late from the office, always in that snug t-shirt and sweatpants, her hair in a messy bun. And I remember how that same woman, not long ago, started drifting. She'd stay up later, laugh at random text messages, dress with more care before meeting friends for coffee. We both pretended it was normal, though I think I saw the warning signs. There's a reason I'm telling this like a confession, like I'm numb. Because if I let myself feel it all at once, I might burn down. So I talk to you, whoever's listening inside my head, maybe the me I used to be, as if this is some calm medical procedure. Open up the wound, see the infection, cut it out. But the stench remains, no matter how precise the incision. She'll be back soon. The idea of her returning to this home, expecting to slip under these blankets and pretend everything's normal, repulses me. So I do something that's not in my nature. I replace the locks. I get up, retrieve the spare set of new locks I'd bought months ago for an unrelated project, and methodically set to work. At 2 in the morning, I install them one by one, pausing now and then to glance at the broken bracelet on the table. Each turn of the screwdriver feels like an exorcism, each metal component sliding into place a promise. I will not let her cross that threshold again. It's almost 3 by the time I finish. My phone vibrates on the kitchen counter. No ring, just a faint buzz. She's calling. I don't answer. Instead, I let it pulse silently. That coldness in my chest spreads. I open her closet and begin removing things, piece by piece. Folded shirts, jeans, scarves, a dress she wore on our anniversary. It feels perverse touching these items, breathing in the faint floral smell. I move steadily, like an assembly line worker, stacking everything into 2 large trash bags. I'm not ripping them. I'm not throwing them out. I'm just tidying them away from my life. When the house is emptier, I place the bags near the front door. My reflection in the hallway mirror looks foreign. Eyes sunken, expression dead. I breathe in deeply, let the air settle in my lungs, then exhale. The phone vibrates again. Each time it does, the screen lights up, briefly illuminating a small circle of darkness. 5 times, 10 times, and eventually it goes dark. I make no move to answer. This is what a man does, you might say. He takes control of the situation. But it's not what I used to do. I used to talk things out, prefer open discussions. Maybe that's why this surgical calm feels monstrous, like I'm no longer the same Michael. Or maybe this is the man I was always supposed to be, the man I suppressed under layers of naive trust and devotion. Outside, a faint drizzle begins. Streetlights cast glistening reflections on the asphalt. Everything's quiet except for the distant hiss of rain. I kill the phone's ringer completely. No more vibrating. No more illusions that I might pick up. I know she'll come. She'll realize something's off, or maybe she already suspects. Perhaps she's with him right now, reading my silence as acceptance, or as a challenge. I step into the bedroom. Our bed looks untouched. A burgundy duvet, perfectly folded corners, a stray pillow. On the bedside table, there's a photo of us from 3 years ago. Me in a silly Santa hat, her hugging me from behind. We look so damn happy. I pick up the frame, stare at the grin on my face, the bright spark in her eyes. Then I place it face down, not smashing it, just burying our laughing images beneath the cool wood of the table. My mind drifts to how it must have gone down with her lover. The first time they met, the first spark of attraction. He's a fitness trainer. I learned from the diary. Alex, she wrote, he's unstoppable. Feels like a force of nature. My pulse flutters with an unexpected rush of adrenaline. I imagine them. I see shadows, interlocked bodies, sweaty limbs in a room that might smell of cologne and victory. Maybe I see it in a cheap motel. Maybe I see them in the back of his fancy downtown condo. But however it happened, it's seared into my mind. She gave herself to him. Or maybe he took her. Maybe she needed it, needed him, to feel alive. There's a spark of something, anger or sorrow, and I bury it with a slow exhale. I move to the window. A flicker of lightning illuminates the yard. The doghouse is empty. We never had a dog, but she used to say we should get one. We got a cat instead. The cat's dozing somewhere in the living room, oblivious. As for me, I'm wide awake, and the night is an endless tunnel of thoughts. Yet I can't bring myself to lie down on that bed. Not now, maybe never again. I pick up a blanket from the closet, throw it on the couch, and slump down. The images come. I recall the day we first met. She was marketing for a small firm. I was a mechanical engineer at a building expo. She laughed at my jokes, and her eyes shone with curiosity. She was wearing that simple pastel blouse, her hair pinned up. I remember thinking she was too good for me. Maybe she was, in some cosmic sense. But I put a ring on her finger. She said yes. She looked me in the eye and said she'd always be mine. Always, though, is a long time. I must have drifted off because I waked to the sound of knocking. Sharp, frantic. The living room is still dark. The only light glows from the lamp in the corner. A flash of lightning reveals it's pouring rain outside. She's there, silhouetted behind the frosted glass. I see her outline, arms raised, beating at the door. My heart is steady. If I were someone else, I'd open it. I'd let her in, demand an explanation, or maybe beg for an apology. But I'm not that man anymore. I rise from the couch quietly, cross to the door, place my palm against it. I can hear her muffled voice. She says my name, or at least I think so. Then she curses. Another desperate knock. She tries the knob. Locked. I changed everything. Deadbolt, handle, even the chain. I used brand new hardware, so her old keys are worthless. Michael. She calls out, voice cracking. I step back, letting the thunder speak for me. She tries again, this time with a hint of panic. I stand there, a foot away, silent. I see my reflection in the glass, superimposed over her shape. She's soaked from the rain, hair plastered to her face. But I don't move. Eventually, the knocking slows, then stops. She stands, breathing heavily, maybe crying. Another flash of lightning. For a moment, I see her eyes, wide and desperate. She's about to speak, but something in me shuts down. I turn, walk away. I can't describe what that does to a man, to walk away while his wife pounds on the door. But it's necessary, like cutting off a diseased limb. If I let her in now, the infection might spread deeper. I pick up the diary again, flip to the earlier pages. Flickers of images. She describes her first coffee with him. He's charming, has a wicked sense of humor, she wrote. Then later, I lied to Michael about a meeting so I could see Alex. We ended up at his place, and it happened. God, I didn't think I still had that fire in me. My lips tighten. Fire, yes. That's the word she used. With Michael, it's routine. With Alex, it's new. Passionate. That's how she sees me. Routine. A fixture in her life, stable and predictable. Good enough for paying bills, for building a future, but not good enough to ignite her. The pages get more explicit. She scribbles times, places, even lines about their physical connection. He pinned me against the wall and just took me. He's so strong. I felt a rush I haven't felt in years. I let the diary drop onto my lap. My mind conjures the scene with vivid clarity. Her parted lips, maybe moaning, nails digging into his arms. A single tear slides down my cheek, but I wipe it away quickly. The numbness returns. Rain lashes the window in sheets. This is the part of the night where everything feels close and suffocating. My heart is a stone. I recall the time I once told her, "I trust you more than anyone." That trust is gone, replaced by something dangerously close to hatred. But as the minutes tick by, a different emotion churns in me. Heartbreak, yes, but also a cold determination. This is the moment I decide her betrayal won't define me. I think about how I'll handle it. So far, I've done exactly what my instincts say. Lock her out, pack her things, keep quiet. But that might not be enough. She might assume I'll come around. She might think I'm just sulking. I walk to the kitchen, open my laptop, and start scanning for a 24-hour locksmith, just to confirm the best hardware I can use for any additional security measures. My mind is on autopilot, practical details. Then, from the corner of my eye, I see the phone light up again. She's calling. This time I pick it up, not to speak, but to watch her name flash. Sarah. My thumb hovers over the answer button. 1 second. 2. I press it. Michael, oh God. What the hell is going on? The locks won't open. Where are you? Her voice is half frantic, half demanding. I grip the phone in silence, letting her words hang. Michael, talk to me. She's raising her voice, and I hear the rain in the background. She must be soaked. She's probably standing on the porch or maybe in her car. For God's sake, open the door. When I don't respond, she starts to crack. Why are you doing this? Let me in. I swallow. No, I say finally, voice low. There's a pause. Thunder booms. What do you mean no? It's the middle of the night. I'm soaked. I live here. Not anymore. My words slice through the hush. Then I hang up. The phone rings again within seconds, but I silence it completely. For a moment, guilt tugs at my gut. Am I punishing her, or is this justice? The memory of that diary entry surfaces, 10 out of 10. Not like with my husband. I let that sentence replay in my head until the guilt dissolves into steel. Eventually, the knocking resumes, weaker now. She's probably cold, exhausted. Perhaps she goes around the back to try the patio door. No luck there either. I changed that lock too. In the dim reflection of the living room mirror, I catch a glimpse of my own face. A man far older than his years, eyes lacking warmth. Maybe I've become a monster tonight, but I'd say she made me into this. Step by step, betrayal by betrayal. I wait until the knocking stops entirely. Silence creeps back in. Through a small crack in the blinds, I see the shape of her car's headlights pulling away from the curb. She's gone. For now. She might go to a friend's place, or maybe to him, to Alex. Let her. This house is no longer hers. I remain awake until dawn. The storm passes, replaced by a pale, wet sunrise that seeps through the windows. My limbs ache, my eyes burn. But the calm is there, icy, unwavering. After a quick shower, I dress in fresh clothes and decide to do something normal. Make coffee. The routine almost unsettles me, but it reminds me I'm still alive, still me, even if a changed version. By noon, her car reappears in the driveway. This time she's not alone. There's a silver SUV behind her. The doorbell rings. I stand in the hall, arms folded. The bell rings again. Then I hear a man's voice. Michael, it's Alex. Open up. I laugh under my breath. He actually came here, to my house. Maybe she told him to come. Maybe he thinks I'll back down if he's present. I see two silhouettes through the frosted glass. Sarah's standing slightly behind him. They talk in hushed tones. The nerve of them, showing up together like this. I grip the doorknob, uncertain if I want to face them. But some part of me says, do it. Step up. Let them see how little they mean to you now. I swing the door open and stare at them. She looks haggard, dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled into a messy ponytail. Her jacket is damp from the earlier rain. He's taller than I realized, broad-shouldered with that fitness trainer posture. His expression is guarded, maybe uncertain. This is the man who, in her diary, she said made her feel alive. You've changed the locks. His voice is firm, but there's a flicker of doubt. You know you can't just. I cut him off with an even tone. Who the hell do you think you are coming here? Sarah tries to speak, but I raise a hand to silence her. She winces. Alex's jaw tightens. He glances at her, then back at me. Michael, I understand you're upset. You don't understand a damn thing, I say softly. My eyes move to Sarah. You want your stuff. It's in those bags by the wall. Take them and go. She steps forward, pushing past Alex. Michael, please. This is ridiculous. We can talk about this like adults. Let me inside. I just want to talk. My voice rises just a fraction. About what? How you lied. How you slept with him while I was away. How you described it in your little diary. I swallow, forcing down the rage. No, we're done talking. She seems momentarily thrown off, blinking rapidly. Then she tries to put on a cool front. Okay, you know what? Fine. If you're going to act crazy, at least let me pack my own things. I already did. I say, stepping aside to reveal the bags. You can carry them out. I don't want you in here any longer. Her eyes blaze. Alex puts a hand on her shoulder. Sarah, let's just do it his way, he murmurs. She whips around, glaring at him, then at me, as though we've both conspired against her. But I see the cracks in her tough act. She bites her lip, steps inside just enough to grab the handle of one bag, then drags it across the threshold. The second bag follows. I notice how tired she looks, how an angry flush creeps along her neck. For a second, pity stirs, but I remember that diary entry again. She's in the hallway now, bags at her feet, and turns to me. Are you serious? You're ending our marriage like this? I nod once. It ended when you chose him over me. She's quiet for a beat, then scoffs. I never chose him over you. Don't, I say, my voice trembling with suppressed intensity. Don't insult me by pretending. I know exactly what happened, and I'm not discussing it. Not now, maybe not ever. Alex shifts his weight, crossing his arms. Look, man, I get you're angry. Angry? No, I reply, meeting his gaze with icy calm. I'm something else entirely. He looks away, unsure how to handle this. Sarah stands there, chest heaving, eyes glistening with either tears or fury, maybe both. She tries again. You can't just throw me out. We're married. This is half my house. The locks are changed. If you have a legal claim, take it to court. I answer, each word measured. She opens her mouth, then closes it, as if realizing there's no point. Suddenly, her face contorts in a mix of sadness and rage. She snatches up the bags, stepping back over the threshold. I hold the door half open, watching them retreat down the walkway. The moment she's off the porch, I shut it quietly, the latch clicking into place. I stand there, listening to the muffled sound of her voice, presumably venting to Alex. My hands aren't shaking. My pulse is steady, though I feel a prickling heat behind my eyes. They linger for a minute or two, but eventually I hear car doors slam and engines start. I walk to the front window, watch them drive away. At the curb, she guns the engine, almost spinning the wheels. Then they vanish down the street. The house feels impossibly silent now. Part of me wonders if I should call a lawyer, handle the official fallout. Another part wonders if I should call my parents, let them know. But I do neither. I pace the rooms, noticing the absence of her things. Makeup on the bathroom counter, extra shoes near the door. It feels like an echo chamber of everything that was once us. At one point, I catch a glimpse of my reflection in the bathroom mirror. There's a haunted look around my eyes. A moment of dizziness forces me to grip the sink. My chest feels tight. I brace myself, leaning forward. The dryness in my throat is overwhelming. So I gulp water from the faucet. The coolness soothes me. I close my eyes, focusing on the steady drip of water. Calm down. This is real. This is happening. Memories flood in. The day I asked her to marry me, kneeling on the beach at sunset, ring in hand. The look of surprise and joy on her face. The laughter we shared. The promise of a life together. Now it's all undone with a new set of locks and a few text messages left unanswered. Or maybe the rot set in long before that. Maybe I was just the fool who never saw it. I catch my breath, push myself upright, and walk into my bedroom. The duvet is still pulled tight. I pull it back methodically, as if prepping for a normal night's sleep. But I know I won't sleep here tonight. Still, it makes me feel less of a stranger in my own home. On her nightstand, there's a smaller photo of us. A selfie at a ski resort. Her cheeks rosy with cold. I pick it up, stare at her grin. The memory of that trip is a blur. Laughter on the slopes, hot chocolate in the lodge. She seemed so genuinely happy. I wonder if any of that was real for her, or maybe she just liked how it felt to be adored, no matter who provided it. I place the photo face down, same as I did the other. Enough illusions. The diary is out in the living room, and suddenly I have the urge to tear it up, burn every page. But something stops me. Maybe it's the notion of truth. As horrible as it is, those pages hold her truth, the side of her I never saw or refused to see. A part of me wants to keep it as a reminder, an autopsy of our marriage. Another part wants to rid myself of it forever. For now, I leave it lying there. When night falls again, the phone remains silent. No calls. I suspect she's stewing somewhere, maybe calling attorneys or seeking advice from friends, or maybe she's with Alex, trying to figure out if I'll come after him. But there's no plan for violence, no baseball bat or dramatic confrontation in mind. My revenge, if you can call it that, is so much colder. She's locked out of my life. She can't come back inside without crossing a threshold she burned with her own choice. I sit on the couch. The cat wanders up, meowing softly. He doesn't know anything's changed, just wants a warm lap. I let him hop up, stroke his fur absently. The lamp casts flickering shadows across the walls. Outside, distant traffic hums. The day's events swirl in my head. The final confrontation, that mixture of betrayal and clarity. I think about my father's words from years ago. If you ever find yourself facing betrayal, son, don't lash out in anger. Keep your dignity. Maybe that's what I'm doing now. Dignity, at least for a little while. Even though my soul feels like it's in tatters. My eyes drift to the diary again, that pastel cover nearly glowing under the lamp. I pick it up one more time, turning pages at random. Some passages are harmless. Grocery lists, quick notes about work. Then I find the more explicit sections, the ones describing their meetings in breathless detail. I see phrases about how he made her gasp, how she felt the rush of new desire. There's a line that stabs me. Being with Alex is the proof I'm still alive. A reflection of what then? That being with me is death. Something cracks inside my chest. I stand, grabbing the diary, walking to the kitchen. I open the trash bin, hold it there, on the cusp of throwing it away. But a lingering hesitation tugs at me. Part of me wants to understand the totality of her betrayal. Another part doesn't need to read more. The second half wins. I toss it in the trash, let the lid slam. A final punctuation mark on this chapter. Lightning doesn't strike. The world doesn't shift. It's just a small finality. I realize, with a sharp pang, that nothing can truly erase what I know. My memories and imagination will fill in every gap. That's the real punishment. The images in my mind, day after day. Perhaps time will dull them. But time doesn't heal, it only erodes. It wears us down until the edges are smooth, the details blurred, the color faded. But the shape remains. I decide to write a letter, though not to her. To the man I was at 20, just as I started to know what love could be. I find a blank sheet of paper, sit at the dining table, the overhead light a stark circle that isolates me from the rest of the dark house. My pen moves slowly, words forming on the page. Don't marry her. You won't survive once you realize that everything you had was real, just not from her side. I pause, tears pricking my eyes. This letter is pointless, I know. There's no going back. But it's the only way I can speak to the naive soul I used to be. I sign it, fold it, and place it in a drawer. Maybe I'll keep it as a reminder. Maybe I'll burn it tomorrow. For tonight, it's enough to have said it. Hours slip by, turning into days. She calls a few times. I let it go to voicemail, each time listening to her voice degrade from anger to sorrow to pleading. On one voicemail, her voice is shaky. Michael, please pick up. We can't just end it like this. We need to talk about everything. She sounds close to tears, but I can't bring myself to care. Another voicemail, an hour later, is more desperate. You can't just shut me out. You're my husband, and this is our life. We have to fix it, or at least figure out the details. Her words grind on me, but I don't respond. At one point, the phone rings with an unknown number. I answer out of curiosity. It's Alex. I recognize his voice immediately, low, smooth, with a forced calm. Michael, can we just settle this? Sarah's a mess. She regrets it. She never wanted to hurt you. I remain silent for a breath, letting him fill the void. He does. It was a mistake, he says, stumbling over the word. I know that doesn't fix anything, but she's willing to do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. I wonder if that includes turning back time. Stay out of my life, I say, and hang up. I block the number. My calm feels unshakable now, but it's a facade. Inside, I'm a wreck, drifting through the motions of living. Work goes on autopilot. I show up, do my tasks with mechanical efficiency, and come home to the quiet. I cook, or sometimes forget to eat. Sleep is fitful, haunted by half-formed dreams of them entwined. I jolt awake, gasping, sweat-soaked, then stumble into the shower to rinse away the shame and anger. A week passes before she tries to enter the house again. It's midday on a Sunday. I'm home, fixing a leak under the kitchen sink. Ironic symmetry, I think, when the door rattles. I hear her voice calling out, "Michael, I'm coming in," as though she still has the right. The new lock stands firm, of course. She curses, tries another key, curses again. Then a sharp knock. I brace myself and walk to the door, wiping my hands on a rag. She stands there with a tired expression, eyes rimmed red. In her hand, she holds a small pink box, like something you buy from a bakery. She must see the confusion in my eyes. "Don't laugh, I brought donuts," she says, half laughing herself. "Remember how you love." "I don't want donuts," I say flatly. She exhales, swallowing. "I'm trying here, Michael. At least let me give these to you, okay?" I don't move to open the door further. "I'm not interested in anything from you." "Stop talking like that. You're my husband." Her voice cracks, but I see no tears now, just an odd emptiness. "We need to figure out how to move forward, even if it's a separation." "You're right," I say, surprising her. "We do need to figure that out. But not in this house. My lawyer will contact you if necessary." Her eyes widen. "Your lawyer? So that's it. We're going down that route." I lean against the doorframe, arms crossed. "What did you expect? That I'd let you waltz back in because you brought donuts?" I notice my voice is edged with scorn. The calm is there, but it's sharper now. She tries to speak, words faltering. Finally, she blurts, "It was a mistake, okay? A stupid fling that. I don't even know. It just happened. I was lonely, and we'd grown distant. It didn't mean anything." I look at her with the same chill that's kept me afloat for days. "You wrote it down in your diary. It seemed to mean a lot then, especially the part about 10 out of 10. The part where you wrote that being with him proved you were alive." She pales. Her hand clutches the box of donuts so hard the cardboard starts to dent. I was just caught up in the moment. It was fantasy. Real life is different, and I realized I can't lose you. "Too late," I say, stepping back. I begin to close the door. She pushes forward, a soft cry escaping her lips, but I don't yield. The door latches. She stands there a few moments, maybe waiting for me to relent. When I open the side window to see if she's gone, I watch her place the box of donuts carefully on the porch railing. Then she hurries away, shoulders hunched, her car parked askew in the driveway. She gets in and slams the door, revving the engine. A heartbeat later, she's gone. I stare at the pink box for a long time before stepping out to grab it. Inside are 4 donuts, chocolate frosted, sprinkles, the ones I used to love. I consider smashing them, but in the end, I just toss them in the garbage. That's become my ritual with everything she tries to give me. Refusal, disposal, a small exercise in severing ties. After that, the days bleed into each other. The phone calls dwindle. I sense she's shifting into a new stage, maybe acceptance, maybe seeking a legal angle. One day, I get a text from an unknown number asking if I'd attend mediation. I ignore it. Another time, a friend of hers calls, trying to broker peace. I let it ring, my anger cooling to something like permanent disregard. Still, at night, I find no real rest. I keep replaying scenes in my head, glimpses of her diary, the tension in her voice, the day we took our vows. Eventually, I take the letter I wrote to my younger self and read it again. The lines are short, raw. I add a single sentence. Time won't heal you, but it'll wear you down until you can carry the pain. It's near midnight when she calls again, a week or two later. The phone illuminates the dark living room. I watch it ring. Something makes me press answer. I don't speak. Her voice is soft, cautious. Michael, are you there? Silence. Then she exhales. I'm sorry. Okay. I know saying it doesn't help, but I don't know what else to do. I hurt you. I destroyed us. I know. But please, can we talk? Somewhere public, maybe a cafe. We owe that to each other, don't we? I swallow. My thoughts drift. I wonder if I should meet her, have one final conversation, or at least talk about the end of our marriage. But then I remember that moment she was pounding on the door in the rain, and how I felt nothing. Or maybe it was everything, just so compressed I couldn't see it. My voice comes out hoarse. No, Sarah, we don't owe each other anything anymore. Not after what you did. She releases a choked sob. I was lonely, she repeats, voice trembling. You were always working, or too tired. Or, God, I'm not blaming you, but you know what I'm tired of. I interrupt, heart pounding. I'm tired of hearing the same excuses. You could have talked to me. We could have tried therapy or anything else. Instead, you jumped into bed with him. So spare me the lonely speech. Her breath hitches. I can almost feel the tears on her cheeks through the phone. She tries to muster some dignity. Fine, she whispers. If that's how you feel. That's how I feel. I say quietly, then add, goodbye. I end the call. Immediately, I block her number. The silence that follows is as vast as any ocean I've ever known. In the days that follow, I file for divorce. Paperwork moves slowly, but I push it forward with methodical focus. People at work notice I've changed. My boss pulls me aside and asks if everything's okay. I offer a tight smile. Just life, I say. He doesn't press further. My parents call from out of state, wanting updates on my marriage. But I keep it vague. I don't want to share the gory details yet. My sister suspects something deeper, though. She asks if Sarah and I are still together. I say, no, don't ask. She murmurs a soft, I'm sorry, before we hang up. Nights remain the hardest. I don't break down sobbing. I don't rage. But I lie in bed and feel the hollow space where her warmth should be. Some primal part of me misses the closeness, the smell of her hair on my pillow. Then I recall those diary entries, those moans she wrote about, and the emptiness turns to a dull ache I can barely endure. One evening, a few weeks later, I gather all the photos of us I can find, physical prints, digital files. I put them in a box, tape it shut, and store it in the attic, not destroying them, but not allowing them to clutter my present. The wedding album goes on top, sealed away. As I place them in the darkness of the attic, I feel a weight lift off my chest. These are relics. Let them gather dust. Then, at last, the day of the official hearing arrives. She's there with her attorney, dressed in somber black, eyes downcast. I come alone, though I have a lawyer who is running late. We share a tense glance across the corridor outside the courtroom. She opens her mouth, maybe to say something, but I shake my head sharply. No words left between us. When my lawyer shows, we finalize the details. There's some back and forth, division of assets, the house. She wants it sold, or half of its value. That triggers negotiations. My attorney lays out the argument that she left on her own accord. She cites her stance, that it was a marital home. We end up with a compromised arrangement. She'll get a portion of the house's worth, less than she wanted but still a chunk. It stings to lose that money, but less than it would have stung to keep her living under my roof. The judge's words are dry, formal. The signatures are quick. By the time we exit the courthouse, we're no longer husband and wife in the eyes of the law. The sun is bright, mocking the gravity of the moment. She lingers near the door. I catch her gaze. It's the first time in weeks we've made eye contact in person. She whispers something I can't quite hear. Maybe it's, "I'm sorry." Maybe it's goodbye. I offer nothing in return, just a nod that says we're finished. Then I pivot on my heel and walk away. Outside, the sky is vivid blue. I stand on the steps, inhaling deeply. A strange sense of finality washes over me, like stepping off a battlefield, dazed. The ring on my finger feels alien, so I slip it off, weigh it in my palm. I don't fling it away. I just pocket it quietly. Even that ring has history, painful as it is. Back home, the emptiness is still there, but it's oddly comforting now, an open space that belongs to me alone. I try to busy myself with tasks. There's always something to fix, something to maintain. This time, I turn to the sink in the upstairs bathroom, which has a slow drip. With tools in hand, I kneel down, unscrew pipes, check washers. The water flows cold over my hands. Methodical steps, no surprises. I finish in half an hour, stand up, wipe my hands on a rag. The house is quiet, peaceful in its own haunted way. I glance around, half expecting to see her leaning against the doorframe. That slight smile of hers. But no, she's gone, and the part of me that might have ached for her presence is replaced by acceptance. Not closure exactly. There's no real closure for betrayal, but something close enough. Later that night, I sit at the dining table under the same overhead lamp where I once read her diary. I scribble a final note to myself. Time doesn't heal. It just grates away layer by layer until you can breathe again. I fold that note, place it with the letter to my younger self. Maybe I'll keep them as reminders, or maybe I'll toss them out one day. For now, they're evidence that I lived through this, that once upon a time, there was a woman I loved so completely, I couldn't see her betrayal coming. And when it came, I had no choice but to cut her out like a poison. A heavy calm settles over me. I'm not naive enough to think the pain is gone. It's more like a scar. It'll flare up sometimes, a phantom ache. But at least I'm free from her illusions, free from the fantasy that we were happy. In a sense, I'm free to rebuild. My house, my life, my heart. I switch off the lamp and walk to the living room. The cat purrs softly on the couch. Outside, streetlights cast long shadows. There is no more thunder, no more pounding on the door. Just me, and a faint hum of distant cars. I take a deep breath, let it out slowly. The last shred of daylight slips away. I'm alive, and this is my new beginning. She is gone. We are done. And for the first time, in a long while, I feel something close to peace.